exciting stuff coming through, some great sponsorship, and some new mods, and I'm definitely looking forward to those. Some things are a little bit extreme. I won't be changing the IFS, so don't worry. Those that think IFS still can't hard wheel, where have you been hiding? Anyway, let's move on. A few people have noticed lately I've put up some pictures of the fact that I've twisted my steering rack. As you can see, there's a huge twist, so I'm gonna have to get a new steering rack and brace it. I did actually end up doing that. Found it worked. Still wasn't really quite what I wanted. So I've decided to go to a full hydraulic steering system. Keep in mind, full hydraulic steering systems are usually reserved for comp trucks, Ultra 4s, rock bouncers. Not really what my vehicle is, by any means. And definitely something you don't see over here in Australia. You see it a lot in the States, but yeah, not here. So to say it's been a bit of a learning curve, well, you know, I've made a few mistakes and I've learned a lot from it. But anyway, onto it. What I want to do is show you the process I went through, making it, creating it, installing it. It wasn't a straight up fit. There was no room. I don't even know how it fitted, to be honest. It was millimeters and absolutely everything. Crazy that it just ended up working. Really shouldn't have. Also, a huge shout out to Hardcore Rock Crawler page on Facebook. They've been amazing at helping me with any problems I've had, and there's been quite a few. I'll put a link to their page below. The biggest issue I've had is I needed to keep this streetable as well. Makes a big difference having a hoist. Way better than doing it on the ground or in the bush. And definitely having the right tools makes a huge difference too. As you can see, the brace I was talking about before, for sale if anyone wants it. A lot of hours went into that. Now I've got to put it all back together. Sorta. Sorry, just couldn't help myself there.
and basically wear them down. So I've got two positions. They're all there. And then I've weld two more plate in there. That's it. That's my movement. It's supposed to have these on the bottom where they're bolted to really well those to the fucking plate. But I'm not going to be able to do that. So I'm going to have to probably bolt or tap into the plate, into the thermal plate, and then have that coming off here, and then maybe make a C-clamp through there with the thermal plate. Yeah, so I've got a flat plate, from the thermal plate there, so I've got a flat plate coming out, and just going around that, so I'll just sculpt it, and then that plate will be here, and then while another angular piece of there, and follow it through. Oh, I can weld it. I can straight weld it. Yeah. But that means the plate going out coming out here is going to be fucking solid to it. Same thing. Then just have to move some dirt here through fucking to I don't want to do anything.
Yeah, a lot of work went into designing that. As you'll see. Can't put everything in the video, so many hours cut out. Don't attempt this unless you're willing to put the hours into it because it takes a long time. Oh, the whole project took me about 2 months to do, from start to finish. Bear in mind, I was only utilising my spare time and weekends, etc. Just prepping the steering arms. What I'm putting together here is the steering stem that goes on the end of the orbital valve and connects to the steering column. Nothing's made up, you've got to make absolutely everything. Starting on the U-clamp, which is the bracket for the ram, steering ram. A lot of cut-off discs are used here. I think I went through like 20 of them. Because the cross member was at different levels, I had to make plates to accommodate for that. It made it very difficult. Bit of a rookie mistake here. Yeah, I'll just drill that out. Nah. It's a little bit too hard. I ended up getting it machined out with a carbide bit. So the steering stem hit the exhaust, so I've had to bash it in a little bit to allow it to clear. A little bit rough, but it worked. Didn't have to move much. This is the bracket for the orbital valve. It's going to be welded directly to the chassis. I had to shape it to fit first. You gotta make sure you get a good clean surface to weld on. Brackets I've made for the reservoir. That's going to be bolted to the side of the airbox. And there's the orbital valve mount welded. A little bit of warpage. A lot of welding, a lot of grinding. My bloody welder was playing up too, it was arcing up for some reason. And the gas line had a crack in it, which didn't help. There was a couple of surfaces that need to be modified with a hammer. It worked. I also used the gas to straighten up the steering rack holes. The bushing had slightly twisted as well, so I had to straighten that. We're using those bolts to clamp the bracket down. And that's the bracket basically. Shitload of modifications coming to that. So we're drilling through those 2 points there, well actually 4 points, so I've got to add some plates onto it. And I've also got to drill the holes for the ram to bolt to it. The aluminium brackets that clamp it down, I also had to shim or machine a small section of that out. These are the tapped holes for the ram, for the clamps. And of course, my tool for the tap snapped, so I ended up using a spanner, funny enough. Did the job. And stupid me forgot the sun plug. It was right on the road, so I had to make a hole for that. Yeah, it was a lot of work that was, as you can see. Well, you all see. a bit of a hard one to do because it was right on the corner. Oh my god, drilling these absolutely kill me. Whew. 20 mil plate, pretty quick. Any questions, comments?
One to go.
Wish I had thought of this earlier. Cheating. Made it so much easier. What I'm doing here is adding the diff mount onto the plate itself so it all becomes one piece. Can't buy good tools these days. The motor died. Didn't even last one blade. It's alright, they fixed it, don't worry.
Thing became a black speck in the distance. Then everything faded. Time. Immeasurable void. Circling forever, circling in a timeless stratosphere. Shut off from every feeling and sensation.
Now I've got a 0 drop brace kit, so I actually haven't dropped my diff. It's at factory height. I've just braced it. The reason why I've done that is I'm going to portals down the track and I'm going to return my suspension back to 0 lift. Yeah, didn't cut that enough. And I've got no blades left. Well, this little one. But yeah, no blades left now. Or do I? Yeah, that was a little bit scary using that. the last of the 20 million holes. Oh, and I forgot about the other 20 million holes. And the other 20 million holes. Holes for days. The ram bolted up. See, I had to slot the aluminium. Just for the step. Even though it's tapped to the middle, front diff mount comes off here. I've got to drill holes for the plate. The end ones I'll put two nuts on as well, block nuts. Holes. Some carbide flip. Orbital valve. As you can see, that's the brace for the diff, and I've just used the factory brace on the other side. So there's the hole for the drain plug. Some little bullety holes. Bit of 2-pack. Keep it from rusting. This is the aftermarket PSC 1800 PSI power steer pump that they gave me with the kit. I did fit it up and it fitted up perfectly. We decided to go with the factory pump in the end because it was a little bit less pressure. We were finding it really sensitive. Originally we thought the pressure was the fault. It was the orbital valve was too powerful, it was letting through too much gallons per minute. So we opted out for a smaller orbital valve and that fixed the problem. And I thought too, keeping the Toyota steering pump would make it easier if we had a breakdown. So what's ended up happening is I'm finding the factory steering pump doesn't quite have enough pressure for what I want it to do. So I will go back to this pump down the track, but at this point, at the finish of this video, I'm still sitting on the Toyota one. This pulley is only a 6V. We need a 7V. So OPW, the guys in Sydney that supplied me this kit, hit up Peter, he's a great guy. Will really help you out if you need anything done. He's getting a new pulley machine for me so it'll accommodate my belt. I'm also toying the idea of a Astra electric fuel pump just to keep it all consistent. Slightly less, it's only about 1400 PSI. Whereas the factory Toyota one's between 800 and 1000. Not quite sure what direction I'm going to go in yet. Just lining the bell. makes the cooler. All that stuff in the front there is going to be removed at some stage. I'm putting a dual motor competition winch in there. That's why they gave the big hole. If anyone's ever thought, why has it got such a big hole? Just waiting on the high mount winch guy to not be so busy so we can get this going and get something in there. I think it'll look really awesome on this vehicle. So I've just gone through with GSP. As everyone knows, I'm sponsored by GSP CVs. Now, I don't find them any better or any worse than OEM. I've only ever snapped 4 CVs ever. Actually, we just broke another one testing the steering here, but that wasn't a fault of the CV. That the steering bound up hard to one side and snapped it. So anyway, I have worked with GSP and we have designed a stronger CV. This should be available to the market really soon. On any moment now, my initial order will land, and I'll have them available for the public. We are using 100 series CVN, so they're bigger cups. We're not using the cheaper tri-bearing. We're using the 6-bearing race on both ends. So that'll give a lot more articulation as well as a stronger end, hopefully. Don't know how much stronger, but it will at least give us some more articulation. Putting the steering arms on. I ended up getting them chromed just for aesthetics. Stupid me, should have stepped the ends down so that I can do up the locking nuts. But anyway. It's not like I can't make some more. As you can see there, it was hitting the sway bar, so I had to move the height of the sway bar up. We've taken the rack end from below the steering arm and we're now placing it on top of the steering arm, just to keep it a lot more level. Hence why it's hitting on the sway bar. Everything back together. They do supply, PSC do supply a hose kit with the ram. I decided to get most of the lines professionally made up. So I used a company called Hydrolink to make up my lines. I just wanted to be a little bit safer, because the only thing between your steering failing and you are those lines. There is a bit of misconception with the fact that people think once you run out of oil you don't have any steering. You still do. It is a delayed effect. You do have quite a bit of time before you run out of pressure. So you do have time to pull over, etc. And it is a self-centering orbital valve, so it uses the car's caster to pull the car straight. Tell you what, I'd rather lose pressure than lose a rack end and have a wheel shoot off into the bush. I'd rather be rolling straight ahead than rolling off in towards trees. The only other issue is bursting a line, spraying oil all over your exhaust. This system uses SAE 32 oil. which is a lot less flammable than ATF. Regardless, as you'll see, I have shielded the exhaust as much as I can to stop that from happening. And here we are, the finished product. As you can see, everything is tight. I even had to tap the sump just to allow some room for a bolt, for a few bolts there, and I ground that piece off right there on the gearbox. It wasn't needed. So it's really tight, really tight. Now the engine doesn't move. I have solid mounted the engine mounts. They are using a 50mm chock, so the engine is sitting 10mm higher than normal. See how I've bashed it in there? Doesn't affect anything. There's the lines. It's really tight. Just gotta make sure none of those lines rub on anything. These were a nightmare to do up. These were a nightmare to do up. The steering column, it was a bit notchy how I had it, so I decided to make a uni joint on both ends, the factory uni joint at the top and this one on the end. Unfortunately, I could not find a uni joint anywhere. No one makes one with Toyota spline, so I had to take the end of two shafts, join them together with a staked uni joint to make that double-ended joiner. As I said, everything's totally custom. There's the flat that I've just ground so the bolt would go through. And when the shaft's up in the air and it's spinning, it's not binding. It does oscillate a little bit. The orbital valve shaft wasn't 100% straight, which you can't feel now. As you can see, I shielded the exhaust.
Put the bolt on the back side, you can't go from the side because there's no room for the steering from this side. And then I can get it this. Easy. Orbital valve. Black man. Right up under there. Now it's close. Keep it down a bit. Make it clear. In the end, but only just. That's everything's within millimeters. Crazy tight. Shielded the exhaust, so if any hoses burst, no fire.
When I do the portals, Queensland Transport are going to look at the vehicle as a one-off to get the engineering done. While this vehicle has been heavily engineered, there are some things that can't be done. So like the steering, the tyres, a little bit too big, things like that. So you can see that I've allowed for more steering angle. That's 2.5 turns lock to lock. The very first orbital valve I put on there was 1.5 turns to lock, so yeah, way too sensitive, a little bit too much for the road. Okay, so while this is working, we were yet to test it on the road, which we have done, which will be in the next video, so keep an eye out for that. We did have some serious problems with it. We have rectified it, we have fixed them. There were 2 major issues. But yeah, apart from that, it went really well. We ended up with a lot of damage because of the first problem, but we've now fixed that, like I said. You'll have to wait for the next video to see that. So keep an eye out for it. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Cheers.